All right, welcome everybody back to the Leaders Podcast, where we talk about the psychology and philosophy of different leaders. Today on the show, we have one of my best friends, Daniel Pagnotta. We grew up together. We fought all over the world in martial arts competitions. He's got multiple medals at the world championship level for Taekwondo, and now he is a personal trainer who owns his own personal trainer business called Silverback Strength. So hi, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
Yeah, this is nice.
This is gonna be so much fun. I can't wait. I'm so sorry. I gotta say, like Matt said, I've known him for years. Like we're going 25 plus years. I'm so proud of him for doing this. This is great.
Yeah, we're just gonna have some fun and see what we talk about.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a long, strange journey. Do you want to start? Do you want to talk about your background and your kind of career path? Because to be honest,
Sure.
ours are similar in a lot of ways.
Similar, but a little bit different. For me, I've been in martial arts since I was 6 years old. And like Matt said, him and I have traveled to a lot of different countries together. We've shared a lot of experiences. Him and I, our age difference, what are we, 3 or 4 years different? Am I older 3 or 4 years? Something like that.
Like 6 years.
When we were younger, I was with a bit of a different crowd at the time, but then we both kind of grew up and we found each other, and we've been best friends ever since.
What was your favorite place that we've been to together?
It's a toss-up. It's a toss-up between Russia and China.
Not North Korea?
We were in North Korea. Yeah, I was in Korea. We were in Korea together. That was craziness.
Yeah. Pro tip: don't go to North Korea.
Yeah, PCA. Don't go to PSA. Sorry. Yeah. No, my favorite place that we were together was Russia, but the weirdest experience together was North Korea.
Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite was Russia, though.
Why?
My favorite was Russia because I'll do the Taekwondo aspect first. We had a really solid team at the time. We placed really, really well in the team pattern competition that was really, really competitive, and we did pretty darn good. We came in third, and the two teams that beat us were really, really
deserved
good.
It.
They deserved it, yeah. And there were about 35 teams that did it, so we have an awesome team that year. The year and a half that we spent training for it together as a team was exciting. We did a lot of bonding. Yeah, a lot of bonding. Like I said, the competition itself was great. We shared in a bronze medal together. The traveling was fun.
Yeah.
And with any other major competition, if any competitors in any other sport, they'll know this, that the after party is always amazing.
Yeah, I guess if you want to know about that, you'll have to contact us personally, and we'll be happy to share.
Happy to share. And then the traveling back home was a whole other experience that was an experience on its own, which was fantastic. So yeah, that was my favorite. I think we had the most fun on that one because it was nonstop. That competition and the time there, it was just nonstop everything. So it was amazing. That was my favorite.
Yeah, that was a great one.
That was in 2009.
Yeah. China was nice too. I'm still sorry about doing the flying elbow drop on your knee the day before we had to go to the Great Wall of China.
And I still I've forgiven you.
Good. I know. You would.
Yeah. You had to carry me, so it was all good.
Yeah. All right. So and kind of in our Taekwondo career, we are both instructors, and Daniel actually helped develop the school's leadership program. So tell me what that was like.
It was a lot of fun. When we started developing that program, our instructor at the time was the main person to be doing it, and we were learning from him more because he did have a lot of good ideas, a lot of good thoughts that went into it, a lot of good principles and stories, and lots of things to help young leaders like children and young teenagers. So being part of that program was it was something I grew up in, but having seen how it was put together and where like my background came from. It was really interesting. And yeah, so, and eventually our instructor pieced the program together, and then
We both came up in it, basically.
we both grew up in it. But there was a time where I was in a better position to actually start teaching the leadership program. So I took his teachings and what I grew up with, and then I was teaching the leadership courses to youth and to young teenagers with philosophies that we grew up with. So that was, for me, it was pretty, I was pretty honored to do it, and it was pretty cool. And it was one of those times where you don't know how much you know until you start talking about it.
Yeah.
You know, because we both, like Matt and I, like Matt was is a tremendous leader, especially with kids as well. And when him and I got going on a few things, it was just blah, 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 blah. And then we just kind of got caught in our own little world. And then everybody else was just sitting there watching us. And we had to regain our focus again. So it was one of those things where you don't know what you know until you actually start teaching it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And now, now you're taking all that experience and putting it into your own business.
Yeah. So it was time for a change. So I started my own. I've been into personal training and fitness since I was personal training for about 8 or 9 years, but into fitness, like, because we were competitive athletes, we were in it since we were 12 or 13 years old. So, but I really got into the personal training about 7 to 8 years ago, is when I started training our athletes for international and world level competition. So I was developing strength and conditioning programs and dietary needs programs for all of our athletes. And then maybe a year ago, I decided to take it to the next level, and I started my own business because I didn't want to just focus on our students. I wanted to focus on mass group, a large amount of people, because I'm used to teaching a large amount of people in martial arts and impacting all different ages and genders and just different types of people. So I wanted to have the same impact fitness-wise as I did in the martial arts community. So I wanted to focus more on fitness now.
Mm-hmm.
So I started my own fitness business, and yeah.
And yeah,
it's been
that's
going.
a scary jump.
It's
a scary jump, because I mean,
it was
your career as a martial art instructor was 15 years as an adult ish.
Yeah, well, like I said, I've been teaching. We mentioned before that we've been teaching and being leaders since we were young. Like, I started teaching when I was 12 years old, right? So that's where my experience came from. So from 20 until a year ago, we'll call it 33. That was my experience being a leader and teaching other people. The scary jump is martial arts was my profession, with fitness as kind of a secondary. Now fitness is my primary, and that's my sole responsibility. So the scary jump was, I'm out on my own now. I'm learning a lot more things. Before being with another company, I would hold myself responsible for some stuff to an extent, but I always had a team to rely on. Now I'm the sole responsibility of myself and other people. So that for me was a really, really big shift.
Yeah.
And being able to teach that to other people, and because I'm still learning and I still make a lot of mistakes, but I can teach people from my mistakes and learn from them. So I'm not the one that's growing, but everybody gets to grow. So yeah, that's my favorite part.
Yeah. And it's a massive change. So, like, I guess in the last, year since you've opened up your own business, what else have you learned about being a good leader or being a good business owner even?
With being a good leader, we always knew, and what we were always taught because we were leaders, was being responsible for other people. The part that I always struggled with was being responsible for myself too, and taking care of myself, because I always thought I sacrificed myself for the good of everybody else. But then something clicked one day, and it was, that doesn't make any sense, because I'm no good to anybody if I'm not taking care of myself. So I got to I had to be a little bit selfish and take care of myself so I can better take care of the people that are under my care, because it's not fair to them that they get me if I'm mentally broken or if I'm exhausted or if I just generally don't feel like caring. That's not fair to anybody. So for me, the hardest part was being a little bit selfish and taking that time for my own self-care, my own growth, my own learning, not because I had to, but because I wanted to.
So when you say that, like, is there something specific that you do to take care of yourself? Like, do you have like a routine or?
For me, right now, I have to get up early, so I wake up at 6 o'clock, 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. I just need a few minutes to myself where I can read for an hour. I wasn't doing that. I wasn't doing a lot of reading before. I love to read, so before I wasn't taking the time to just read for pleasure, like read novels or whatever. So I take some time and I read a little bit of concentrated breathing. I focus on my breathing a lot lately.
So meditating.
Yeah, the meditating a little bit, but yeah, the concentrated breathing for me to keep myself under control.
What is the difference, do you think?
The difference is a complete 180.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Before, I'm not so stressed, or things that would stress me out before or really get to me just don't anymore, because I'm just a lot calmer. Like I'm taking care of myself allows me to handle situations a lot better, like a lot better.
Yeah.
A lot more calm, a lot more logical, a lot more insightful, really. So I feel more like myself when I'm doing that. So I take time for some self-care. I do read a lot. I do exercise every day. I do my weightlifting. I do my cardio. I'm into yoga again. I do a lot of stretching. And yeah, and then I go about my day, and I find myself to be a lot more productive too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything that that you're working on right now to try and keep improving? Like, I know a major piece for me has been mentoring. So is there anybody that's in your life right now who's been kind of a tremendous mentor for learning how to get your business off the ground, or learning how to just take care of yourself in general?
For learning my business, we have a few mentors. Am I allowed to mention them?
Yeah.
Okay. One of the
sure.
trainers at the
You
gym.
can call him on the phone right now if you want.
No. One of the
It's my show.
One of the trainers that I work with, his name is Kyle Smith. He owns Warrior Body Strength, or Warrior Body Coaching at Love Strength downtown. And I just want to say, I was on record, I love this guy because I've never seen him in a bad. He's one of those people that's always positive, always has something good to say, very insightful, very, very intelligent. He helped me kind of learn the business aspect of the fitness industry and being a personal trainer. Pardon me. So doing that, he helped me. And like I said, at the time when I made that transition, I was a little bit low. Like I was kind of mentally, I was a little bit down. He helped pick me right back up and kind of showed me a whole new world with how running a business could be and should be, and doing it for yourself more. So that was really good. So shout out to Kyle. Thanks, buddy. Yeah. So he's been great that way. We've had a few people that have been helping us and giving us some financial advice too, like how to make sure that we're set for when we're older, how to retire, and what the smart things to do with our money and that stuff. So that's been really interesting. I've been learning a lot about that lately as well.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so interesting to like get into that, because that's something that I have not been historically into at all. And so there's this massive, exciting learning curve that goes along with it. Because I mean, for me, I just like learning new stuff.
Yeah.
And
it was nice with our background. And I will say that our Taekwondo instructors did a good job with us. Like, we turned out great.
Yeah.
You know, they had a large hand in it, and
massive hand.
Massive hand.
And I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah, me too.
But we just have to keep kind of moving forward, and here we are now.
Yeah.
So can you tell me, what do you love about your work now? Like, what are you most proud of?
What am I most proud of? I'm proud that I'm on my own. I'm proud that I'm doing something on my own, because that for me was a huge jump.
Hmm.
Being on my own and making it on my own, that for me was huge. What I love most about it is honestly the different challenges I'm getting, because everybody has a different goal, but they all kind of need a similar road to get there. But every road has different turns, different bumps, and everything. So for me, finding ways to help people achieve their goals, that's really, really individual and really specific. That for me has been awesome.
Hmm.
Lots of fun. I love doing that. Uh,
Do you
and
have anybody? Do you have anybody who is particularly challenging? Like you just have some like a client and they just suck. No offense, but but they're like
I
really hard
have,
to motivate or really hard to get going or
well, it's funny. Um, I have one client who comes to me often and says that he's just not motivated. Like, I've lost my motivation. I can't do this. I can't do that. And it's really interesting because I did a talk a little while ago. One of my troop chats. We do bi-weekly calls together, and we were talking about the difference between motivation and discipline, and how they have to complement each other. And he said, I don't fucking get it. I was like, okay. Motivation is something that comes and goes, right? You can be motivated to a goal. Like, for example, if I say I want to lose 20 pounds, my motivation is to lose that 20 pounds, to look good in a swimsuit, have nice six-pack abs, and bam, awesome. That's my motivation. What gets me there isn't motivation, it's discipline, right?
Mhm.
So I was explaining to them, and then I was talking to the other guys as well. Discipline comes and goes, motivation comes and goes, but discipline has to become a habit. Discipline comes when you don't want to go to the gym, but you know you have to. Right? It's not motivated. You can't say, "Oh, I'm motivated to go to the gym." It's like, no, right now you're not motivated to get your goal. You're not disciplined right now to go to the gym. If you hold on to your discipline, your motivation is what's going to drive you.
Mhm.
Okay. Like I said, your motivation is the road and the discipline is the car that gets you there. So I have one client right now he's really struggling with getting himself moving. Like he knows what he wants to do. He's just not into it. So we had this talk and I literally said to him, like, you lack discipline. That's it. You lack discipline. And then he looked at me and he got a little bit offended, a little bit upset. And he thought about it for a bit and we were talking and he said, you know what? That makes so much more sense, because there have been times where I don't want to go and I just let that part beat me,
Mhm.
and you and I know it's like when we were training, it takes a lot
Well,
of,
fighting's really interesting that way because honestly, every fight that I've lost before I even got in the ring.
mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all in your head,
Or that's wrong. Sometimes the guy's just better, but uh, but a lot of the time it's my own head.
Right. Well, the thing is, even if they're technically better and they still win the fight, you've only lost the round. You haven't lost the fight. You've lost that particular round. They haven't beaten you up here means you still have that fight. That's kind of the difference. So yeah, with this one
So
client, what's that?
I was gonna say, so what would your advice be to somebody who feels like they can't get their discipline under control?
Swallow your pride and ask for help.
Hmm.
Put your ego aside, and when you can accept the fact that you need help, if you need someone to help you, and for me, my personal opinion is everybody needs a coach. Everybody. Coaches have their own coaches who have their own coaches. If you're somebody that thinks that you can do it all on your own, then fuck you. You're on your own.
Hmm.
Right? You deserve where you should be. Um,
Yeah.
if you can, yeah, if you can accept the fact that you need the help, right? You need someone to kick you in the ass. You may have all the theory. Everybody knows how to lose weight, right? Everybody knows how to lift weights. Maybe they need a little kick in the ass. Maybe they need that motivational tool to help train their discipline.
Hmm.
There's no shame in it. I mean, one of my personal rules is I don't program myself. Like, I don't assign my own weightlifting programs, because I'll just assign things that I want to do. right? I need someone there to say, if it was up to me, it'd be bench press, deadlift, and squat every
Yeah,
day.
the Trinity.
But I need someone there to tell me, no, you need to be doing your HIIT training, and you need to be doing it this way. And it's like,
Yeah, your
oh,
cardio, Daniel. Come on.
yeah, your cardio, Daniel. I was like, oh man. So my motivation is I need the cardio for my heart health. I just need it for my overall body. This is how I am.
Yeah.
My discipline comes in where it's like, God, fuck, I don't want to go on the goddamn treadmill.
Yeah.
I do it anyways. So my advice to anybody that is looking for a help or assistance is get the help or assistance. Swallow your ego and some people think that they think less of you if you're asking for help. No, you're actually, by respecting yourself more, you earn the respect of other people, because there are things that even I learn from my clients. They've come to me for fitness and that kind of help. I learn other things like I have one client who is high up in a bank, and she tells me all this kind of cool things and all these little tricks. I'm like, oh, that's sweet. I have another client who's a trauma surgeon,
Yeah.
and when we bounce
That's
things
so
off,
wild to me. Like the one story you shared where he couldn't come for his session with you because he was dealing with like a guy with a knife in his chest or something, or
no, it was an arrow.
an arrow, an arrow in his chest.
Yeah, bizarre. But yeah, like we bounce ideas off each other all the time, and I get more of an understanding of my job, and he tells me, he's like, I have more of an understanding of my job too with this. I'm like, oh, great, win-win. So yeah, if you need my advice is swallow your pride, suck it up, and ask for help. Get the help, because if you need it, you need it, and you never know who needs your help too.
Yeah.
So that's my advice.
So with Silverback Strength, what is one mistake that you've made or decision that you wish you didn't make? Like if you had to go back and do it again. Everybody says that it's like, oh, like no regrets. It's like, yeah, come on, like everybody's got regrets. Give me a break. But so do you have any like big screw ups with your business now? Or if you could have redone something, what would you have done different?
The business is still a little bit new, so I haven't done anything like giant that would screw it up. But if I could do a few things over again, I would definitely get a better hand on the social media, because that for me is uncomfortable, and I wish I got into that sooner. With the business, I wish I started it sooner, honestly.
Yeah.
I wish I got into it a lot earlier.
Sure.
So, just because, and here's the great part. When it comes to being a leader, a lot of people think that they don't put their egos aside, and they think they know everything, and because I've been in fitness for, like, I've been training myself and with coaches for say 20 years. I've been a trainer for about 7 or 8. And what we've said before, you don't realize how much you know until you start teaching it, but you also don't realize how much you don't know until you start working with people that have the experience. So working with a new bunch of people, I realized, like, oh my gosh, you guys, I thought I knew my shit. Like, you guys are fantastic.
Yeah.
So the nice thing is I'm learning more off of the people that I work with, and I have a few of them learning off me too. It's like, holy shit, I didn't know you knew that. It's like, yeah, that's great. And we get to share ideas rather than be compared to what we do and don't know. So I find that to be a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
A lot more. It keeps me growing.
So what's your biggest challenge now? Like, what are you looking to do next? Like, what's your big audacious goal for Silverback Strength, or for Daniel?
For the business, or for me? I can tell you right now. I'll get my journal. For my business, my biggest thing, and what I really, really want, is because I want to use my martial arts background as well. What I want is I want to be one of the main fitness coaches for Canada, for the martial arts world. Whether it be Taekwondo or MMA or any martial art, I would like to get into that niche, and I want to train fighters, and I want to train people that are doing their forms or their patterns or whatever they're called. I want to be someone they come to, because I do
Mhm.
have almost 30 years experience in a martial art, and I can understand how what the body needs
Oh, for
in
sure.
that aspect.
And we just got to that point where, we look at somebody kick or look at somebody put their hands up and know it's like, yeah, okay, this guy's trained in something, or he does not know what he's doing.
Or he does not know what he's doing. And we can always, and the nice thing is, like, and you and I have the same eye, we can tell when someone throws a kick, it's like, oh, he's weak in the hip, he's short in the hamstring, he's not putting his core and he's not using his body right. It just happens so fast.
Yeah.
So I want to put that, I want to keep that going. I want to put that to good use, because there are a lot of young fighters out there that have that dream, have that goal, but may not have the right guidance.
For sure.
And like I said, with my competition experience, I've also coached Team Canada 3 times. So
How many times have you been on the Canadian team?
for competition for myself, I've competed 8 times at the Worlds.
Yeah.
I've been on the team 8 times, and I've coached for 3. I was actually your coach for 1.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
In the Netherlands, I was
in Netherlands, in Barneveld, not
Barneveld,
Amsterdam.
right. Sorry.
Yeah. That was a good one.
Yeah, oh yeah, that was all fun too. There's actually a great shot of you and I in the ring where we're quickly talking strategy, just like,
Yeah.
It's like, all right, what does this guy need? It's awesome.
Yeah. Good memories.
Good time.
Pro tip: visit the Netherlands. It's a great place.
Yes.
So for yourself now, like that's for your business. Now for yourself, what are you doing to ensure that you continue to grow and develop as a leader?
Keeping myself accountable.
Yeah. You were saying that you're just doing a whole bunch of research on it.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, today, just before we did this call,
yeah,
I was
your troop chat.
Yeah, my troop.
So tell me about that.
Yeah.
You might have to repeat it because my hold up. Sorry, you got all choppy there.
Okay.
I think the internet
That's okay.
cut out. So yeah, tell me about tell me what you're doing with your troop chat. Troop chat.
My troop chats. I do them. My troop chat. Yeah. Because Silverback, a group of gorillas called it troop. Anyways, so what we do is every 2 weeks, I hold an hour-long talk with all my clients or anybody else who wants to join. I open it up to everybody, and we talk about certain themes for the month. So the month of May, our theme was goal setting. So the first talk we did was about motivating the unmotivated, right? So we talked about setting goals, solidifying your why, rewarding yourself, discipline, all the things we just talked about, and not blaming. Today's talk was keeping yourself accountable. And today we talked about 6 ways to hold yourself accountable. And so it was things like writing everything down. So what I was showing them was my journal, because I have this journal where I write absolutely everything I've been doing so far down. So I have my from my to-do list to my learning and my business, to a personal journal, to my gratitude sections, to my development, to my finances, to my goal setting. All of that stuff is in one book. So we write everything down. Today we talked about identifying mission statements, personal mission statements, not business ones. So what is valuable to you? We talked about rewarding accomplishments and milestones. So making sure that if you've done something that was a struggle to you, doesn't matter if it's large or small, but you give yourself a reward. You pat yourself on the back, tell yourself you've done good. Go get your nails done. Like, do something for yourself that rewards yourself, because honestly, people deserve it and they need it. We talked about creating micro goals. So for example, the analogy I used was if you're standing on the base of a floor and you want to get upstairs, and it's 50 stairs, do you just jump from the bottom to the top? You can't jump from the bottom to top. You have to take those baby steps, because 9 times out of 10, when you jump and hit the middle, you end up tumbling right down. So you take those baby steps, and before you know it, from the bottom, you're at the top of a 10-story building. So we talk about creating micro goals. The other thing was reviewing your performance. We talk about keeping yourself responsible for your success, and seeking, and the last part was seeking feedback from your peers, your coaches, and searching for a coach too. But seek feedback, because if you want to honestly grow, you need 100% unobjective opinion. You need 100% unbiased and honesty from other people and yourself. So take that personal feeling you have, you feel that it's insulting, you put it aside, because if you're looking to grow, you have to put it aside in order for you to step out of it. So yeah, that was what our talk was today.
Yeah.
So,
what is
something like that?
I was gonna say, like, what is, if you have to give those people one piece of advice, what is it?
Be honest.
What do you mean?
Be honest with yourself, because it's easy to let yourself off the hook. Being completely honest with yourself negates all the guilt. So for example, if you're struggling with your eating habits or your diet or whatever, and you say, I'm just going to have this one cookie this week, it'll be fine. And then when you go and, like, for the step 5 was go and review. When you go and review, it's like, oh, should I have had that cookie? Should I have had that cake? Could I have done without it? You probably could have, But if you're being honest and you say, and if you're not honest, you say, oh, well, that one cookie wasn't going to kill you. It wasn't, it's whatever. That for me is first step to the discipline starting to fall back. And then the reward doesn't become a reward. It just becomes a routine. Birthday cake. If you have cake every year, it's not or every day, it's not special. Once a year, that's why it's special.
Sure.
So, yeah, being completely honest with yourself, especially, is one of the main things. Some of my clients, what I make them do, and I say make because I make them do it, is take before and after photos. Oh, I don't want to get in front of the camera, whatever. It's like, you know what? This is why you've come to me. This is why you're accepting it. This before photo is exactly that. It's a before photo. We have a few months, and then we can take the after photo, and then you can see the change. So being honest and saying, this is where I'm at right now. This is where I should be right now. All right, accept it, and let's either live with it or move on and change it.
Yeah.
So yeah, if I
sure.
can tell everybody anything, be honest. I can honestly say right now that parts of my business that have been a struggle, I know which parts I haven't been focusing on. I know which parts I could work harder at. So I evaluate it and I say, okay, why did I not do this? Am I going to make up some lame bullshit excuse, or am I going to accept the fact and find a way to fix it? So
what do you have to fix?
What do I have to fix?
Yeah.
I got to get out of my head.
Just one thing.
Just one thing I got to fix.
Yeah.
My fear. Sometimes I'm afraid of learning something because I know nothing about it. But then it goes back to the whole thing. It's like, oh, you actually know some stuff about this, so just build it.
Yeah.
So yeah, just getting over a few fears, but everybody has them.
And it doesn't need to be perfect.
No, that was another thing too. And
That's
Kyle
a huge thing for me.
Yeah, and Kyle will attest this too. He always tells me is that perfectionism leads to extinction. I hate when he fucking says that, but he's so right. He's so right about it. So it doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
Perfection is something that will never be achieved, and we know that being competitive, because if we think we're perfect, then we've stopped growing.
Yeah.
So you can aim for quality, aim to be the best you can and go from there. Because if anybody thinks they're perfect or they said they've done something perfect, stay the hell away from them.
I guess, what resources could you recommend for other people looking to grow? I guess not just within like their health, their personal training, but I mean, you got a giant handmade bookshelf I see behind you. How long did that take you to build?
How long did the shelf take me?
Yeah.
It took me about 7-8 hours.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. I'm not a carpenter. So carpenters out there that are looking at it, it's like, that took you 7 hours, take me 2. It's like, you know what?
Yeah.
I understand. Like I know, but it was just something that I wanted to do just for myself, just because we're in a home right now in this with the whole COVID thing. So
yeah.
I took it upon myself.
It's such a weird thing. Like, I guess, like, I don't want to be super cliche because I know everybody's talking about it, but I mean, you have your business must be massively impacted because of it.
Yeah, a lot of, I can't speak for all the trainers, but I don't know, for me, things have just kind of come to a bit of a pause.
Yeah.
Right. People are finding themselves a little bit lost right now. And I think
definitely
fitness for a lot of people, fitness is their last thing on their mind.
So what can they do Is there anything that they can do, like just at home to keep it part of their routine?
Tons of things they can do at home.
Yeah.
Tons of things. The problem is they have to get it into their heads. It's a whole mindset thing too, because my home gym is in my basement too, and some days I'm just like, nope, I don't want to. And it's not a motivation thing, it's a discipline thing. It's you have to get in there and do it, because I know why I do my working out. I need it for my own head, just to keep the juices flowing. It is an endorphin increaser, so it makes you feel great. And I need it for my physical fitness as well, because my body type tends to pack on a lot of fat.
Hello? You cut out there again. Sorry. Yeah. The internet here is a little strange sometimes. Sucks.
Mine's doing that too a little bit, actually, right now.
Yeah.
Okay, ask again.
Yeah, sorry. So like what is it, just one piece of advice to help people keep their discipline when they're at home?
I would have to say, know why you're doing it. Because if you're doing it just for the sake of doing it, you're never going to do it. Then you'll feel obligated to. If you have a reason why, right? If you say, okay, I don't want
little Simon Sinek.
A little bit. He's actually, I'll get to that later. He has a book called Leaders Eat Last.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else read it, but that for me is it's one of my top 3 leadership books.
Yeah.
Right. My top 3 are Leaders Eat Last, Extreme Ownership. That's by Jocko Willink.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And, that guy's mad. I follow him on Instagram, and every day he's got awesome. He does like the watch post.
Yeah, he's awesome. And my third one is Principle-Centered Leadership. That's by Stephen Covey. He's the author of The Habits of Highly
Habits.
Yeah. Yeah. So those 3, for me, those 3 are my favorite.
Yeah.
Okay. There's tons out there, and I'm sure anybody that has more suggestions, I'd love to hear them too, because I love to read that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But those are my 3 of my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I could give any advice to anybody that feels they have to do something at home, is know why they want to do it. There are people out there that have children that are on their own, like single parents that have 1 kid or 2 kids, and they may just need that stress release. So if they have someone to help guide them through, if they need that for their own sanity, they know why they're doing it. Just know why. If you understand fully why, and you have a solid mission statement inside for you, then it'll come with no problem.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, great. Who are you looking for right now? Like, are you looking for clients, or like what kind of clients? Like, do you want, I guess, online for now until gyms open up?
Online for now, but when the gyms open, my ideal client for me would be someone like I train men and women, okay, and I'll help men and women achieve all their goals. But right now, I'm trying to focus on guys that are close to my age, like our age, like 30 to 40 in there. And I want to help them get back into...
Am I in the 30 to 40 range now? Oh, no.
Yeah, you are. And who are working a lot, like guys who are 30 to 40, who are really who are business professionals, who work a lot, that don't have time. I want to help them find the time and utilize that time as best they can and achieve whatever fitness goals they want, whether it be gain some size, run a marathon, do whatever. I want to help those guys. But like I said, that's primary, but I do have a wide range of clients right now that are men and women. They're between 40 and 50 right now. They're business professionals. And and right now working out from home with them has been a little bit of a challenge, but a good challenge,
Sure.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, thanks. Thanks for coming on.
My pleasure.
It's, it's you and I don't get to hang enough, anymore. Like, a lot has changed in the last year for both of us, so it's really nice to catch up. And you got to come. I'll have to catch up because my birthday's coming up. So yeah.
Oh, don't worry.
So
I got you covered.
Thanks everybody for listening. If you want to know more about Daniel and Silverback Strength, you can contact him I'll drop his Instagram in the biography wherever I decide to distribute this. I'll let you guys all know soon. You can also reach him at silverbackstrength.com, is it?
Strength-yeg.com. Yeah.
Silverbackstrength-yeg.com. And we got to get those summer bodies ready. So, for whatever's left of it, anyways. So, yeah. Okay, great. Thanks, guys.